Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. Hey guys, we're your hosts, M and J. With another new He-Man show upon us, we wanted to take a look at Masters of the Universe as a whole, because we believe the IP has been mismanaged in recent years. There's been a lot of discourse recently, and unfortunately much of it was negative, but we've also been getting a lot of He-Man content, and it looks like the Masters of the Universe train isn't slowing down anytime soon, since Amazon just announced they're going to be working on a live-action Shira show, which also caused a firestorm online. Mostly because fans of Netflix's Shira and the Princesses of Power are upset that this show will not be connected to theirs, despite the fact that Masters of the Universe has been getting reboots left and right lately, and their show was already a reboot. How they didn't see this coming is beyond me. They're even making petitions on change.org. At least Netflix's Shira had an ending, unlike the 2002 He-Man reboot, although I can't help but feel like this whole thing is extremely ironic, considering the fact that when fans of the original were complaining that the reboot was straying so far from the source material, we were all written off. They even attacked the original show and the people who worked on it, like body shaming the original characters and claiming they only exist for the male gaze, and the only reason it was created or why people would watch it was because of sex appeal. Meanwhile, they go on and on about how they won't support the new show unless it has their ships in it. It's such a double standard, but you can literally make all the same arguments that they used for this situation. Not so fun when the shoe's on the other foot, is it? Netflix's Shira was really an in-name only reboot anyway. Basically, you could replace all the names with new ones and no one would really notice. People who enjoy this show would have liked it regardless of whether or not it was called Shira, but fans of the original have been waiting to see these heroes again for decades. But now fans of the Netflix series are demanding that things line up with the 2018 show, such as Catra being Adora's love interest, and if they go back to Seahawk being her love interest, expect Twitter to be up in arms. Anyway, the show's still in very early development, so we're gonna be watching it carefully. Hopefully it won't be edgy nonsense like CW's Powerpuff Girls, and will retain the spirit of the original. We just finished reviewing all the available episodes for Masters of the Universe Revelation, and it certainly wasn't what was advertised to us. We were told it would be a direct sequel to the 80s series, and for the original fans who grew up with that show. Some of these quotes even came from Kevin Smith, the series showrunner, but then closer to release date we found out the truth. It's not a sequel, despite being advertised as such, and is just based on the original toy line, like the original 80s series was. It turns out they don't have the rights to the Filmation series, but if they knew that from the beginning, why did they lie to us? And that wasn't the only lie. We were told He-Man would not be stepping aside in this series, only for him to die in the first episode. Plus they spoiled a bunch of stuff before the show even came out, like Skelegod and Orko's death. That's a little awkward. But the show itself had a lot of contrivances that seemed to happen for the sake of the plot, and not for logical reasons, like the Sorceress tells Skeletor that she wouldn't fall for his ruse, only to fall for his ruse.
Poor Skeletor. Did you really think your latest ruse could fool the Sorceress of Graystone?
Even the great Sorceress of Graystone was so easily manipulated by my latest deception.
And why did she open the gates to Castle Grayskull when she could fly out of its eye? And she knew that that was Skeletor in disguise. That just seems like a bad idea. The show also followed Teela as the main character, and unfortunately she was really unlikable in this series, which is sad because she's cool in the original. She's so furious about not knowing that Adam is He-Man that she abandons her whole life, her career, all her friends, so she can go be a mercenary for money. She also has this hate for magic we've never seen before, to the point where her finding out that a lack of magic is killing the world doesn't really faze her. She's also not very likable as a main character. She makes everything about herself and she's really unreasonable. When she does meet Adam again, she spends the whole time being angry at him and makes no attempt to reach out, even to explain her own feelings, and then says that him dying was something she had to deal with. I mean, did she sacrifice herself to save the world? No. The Sorceress and Cringer basically had to beg her to go on this journey. Meanwhile, Adam made a very selfless sacrifice to save the world, and then gave up paradise to try to help. He didn't have to do that, it's not his problem anymore. I don't think this is what a lot of fans were looking for in a series that was supposedly a sequel to the original 80s. Aside from these issues, I don't think it was a good idea to split up the 10 episodes. The first 5 episodes sees the group of heroes going through hell on heaven, only to end up basically where they were in the first place, with the heroes defeated by Skeletor. Couldn't we have just started with that and gotten to the major battle we were promised from the beginning? It was really a letdown. So now we're getting a new CGI show, which is also called He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. According to Rob David, the showrunner, he wanted this show to be for a new audience and a new generation, to give them their own He-Man. So I guess Masters of the Universe Revelation, which came out in July, was supposed to be for the old fans, while the new show is made to cater to the next generation. Unfortunately, Revelation didn't exactly pan out. Also, Rob David was the executive producer of that show, so that might not be the best sign, although this show is very aware of what it is, and it's not trying to pretend to be something it's not. It also hasn't been going out of its way to drag the original or its fans, which I can definitely appreciate. David said that he wants to stay true to the core tenets of Masters of the Universe, which is great, although from the information we've been given, it also seems to be an in-name only reboot. But it also kind of feels like a huge departure, like if the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles weren't in the sewers of New York or something. We were big fans of the 2011 Thundercats reboot, and that also did its own thing, like how Thundera was now a kingdom instead of its own planet that got destroyed. But despite these changes, it was still recognizable. But this looks like another case of just change everyone's names and you basically have a totally different show. So we'll have to see how well this CGI show balances being a reboot and being faithful to the original. The animation doesn't look bad, but it does look a lot like Fortnite and other video games, especially in the character design department. I do wish they'd made He-Man more proportionate though, like his head is too small for his body, and he also looks like he missed leg day. In the end, I guess we'll have to wait and see how things play out. I mean, it can't be worse than Revelation, right? But I do hope that someday we'll be able to see the original characters again. It's pretty obvious there's still a lot of interest in Masters of the Universe, but hopefully the way they're mismanaging these properties won't end up killing that momentum. But that's our opinion. What do you guys think? We'd love to hear from you, so leave your comments down below. Thanks for watching, we really appreciate it. Before we go, we want to give a shout out to our members: Caleb Nelson, Stutania, Tyrant Carnivore, Adam K, Shiny Orc Boy, The Rabbit Mancer, Hunter Rose, General Bolivar, Depth Charge Media, Samru163, Kopitio Bozinski, Gabby Hime, Sandy Martin, Verdant Range, Butcher7 Actual, Dashhound, Bandito Bane, JVR, Hussyman42, Nixel, and Eric Griffin. Thank you all so much for your support. If you want to become a member, you can hit the join button next to the subscribe button. And if you enjoyed the video, you can leave a like and subscribe to the channel. That helps us out a lot too. And it's free. We also have a Buy Me Coffee if you want to support us that way. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye everyone. Bye guys.